Good morning, boys and girls, it's Colin here, and today we're going to start our first of our occupations. We hope that we're doing 100 of these, and we're going to visit Gary, who's an architect, that person who designs houses, etc. So we're going to sing Deep and Wide, and we're going to go to Gary's study and ask him what exactly does it mean to be an architect. Sing along, Deep and Wide.
Deep and wide, there's a fountain flowing deep and wide. Deep and wide, there's a fountain flowing deep and wide. Big and strong, there's a mountain standing big and strong. Big and strong, there's a mountain standing big and strong.
Really good song. So we're talking there deep and wide. Whenever you're thinking of an architect building a house, about the foundation, they're going to be deep, they're going to be wide, structurally sound, all these things. Let's visit Gary and learn all more about the architect. Good morning, boys and girls. We're delighted to be back with you for assembly today, and we're going to talk about an architect. And if you ever wonder what an architect does or what they do, well, this is my friend Gary, and Gary's an architect, so we're going to go through what an architect does. Gary, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Say hello to the boys and girls.
Hello, boys and girls.
Gary's got one of those accents in Northern Ireland. Can you work out where it is? Is it Kilkeel or Ballymena? It is
Ballymena.
Ballymena. That's great. Gary, what's an architect?
Well, an architect is someone who designs things, who plans things, and who I have a number of clients who maybe come and want a new house, and so you have to basically produce a set of instructions, just like you would have to do if you were building a toy. You have to prepare a set of plans and instructions as to how a house might be built, and that's for the builder to build the house. So basically an architect is a designer, someone who prepares and designs houses and prepares plans, and also to get to legal things that you have to have, which is planning permission and building control approval. So
Do you only design houses, or what else do you design?
I can design anything from a house to a house extension to a church to glamping pods, which has been something that's taken up over lockdown and people staying at home for holidays. Some commercial stuff, factories, shop units, everything and anything I would design. So,
Do you enjoy what you do, Gary?
I love my job, yes, I really do, Colin. It can be demanding, but it's enjoyable and it's very rewarding when you see the end product.
Yeah. You're a family man. I noticed little girls. Are these your neighbours or?
No, these are my two daughters, Amy and Chloe, and that's my family up above in that photograph. But yes, with two girls.
And I noticed you've got a Bible verse. Are you a Christian, Gary?
I am a Christian, Colin. I've been a Christian for 8 years now, and it has changed my life. It's been wonderful. And it's been brilliant even in my business and work, yeah.
But have you time to be a Christian, make an architect?
You have to make time. You have to be disciplined. You have to, just like you have to be disciplined at school. You have to make time and read the Bible and pray and make time for God.
But is it bettered your life being a Christian?
So much so.
In what way?
Because you have faith and trust. Whenever I started this business, and it's a small business, but I had to trust God to give up my previous job and earn money for myself. And God went every step of the way, and He provided for me. Everything that I have, God has provided.
And you proved Him?
I have proved Him time and time again, because He never fails us.
Okay. Guy, can we see some of the jobs you've done? I notice you've got all this equipment. What is this for?
Well, this is for the boys and girls that maybe wouldn't understand. This is a big printer. This is like what you would have at home for printing your A4 pages. But this prints A1 size, which is like a big map. This is called a plotter, and this is where I produce all my plans and send off to clients and builders for using on the building site for them to be able to build the buildings or the extensions. So this is called a plotter. And everything now is done, it's all digital. It used to be that you would have drew plans on a drawing board, a big drawing board, and you would have sat on a stool with a pen and a ruler and a set square. But now everything is done on the computer on what they call CAD, computer-aided design.
So do you start off with a blank page, a blank screen?
A blank screen. It's completely blank.
And how do you know where to start? What to pick the windows and doors?
If I ask a client what they want in their house, so I want a kitchen, I want a bathroom, I want a utility room, I want 3 bedrooms, I want a living room and a sunroom. So they give me a brief, and we call that the brief, and then I start to piece that together. So,
and are most clients easy to work with?
Most customers and clients are easy to work with. It can be quite a demanding job because there's time frames, and people always want to start building in springtime because they think that's when the good weather comes. Although in Northern Ireland you could have good weather in winter, it's perfectly good for building in. But everybody wants to start building in springtime. So that's why all jobs have to be planned, prepared, designed. It has to go through council for planning permission and building control in the run up to that, so as you're ready to hit the ground in spring.
Has anyone ever came to you with designs, they've got someone else to do and they don't like them and asked you to rub them out and start all over?
Yes, quite often that happens.
Do you like doing that?
I don't mind doing that. What happens, there's 2 types of planning permission. There's one called outline planning, which is when you just submit a map, and that's just to determine if a site is good enough to take a house. So that means that you haven't got a design for the house. So a client might come with other designs that they had from someone else, another architect, and they say we don't like that. So I would just basically take that from scratch and redesign it.
So, boys and girls, I'm just thinking when Gary's talking, that's like a clean sheet where he would come and start from scratch, and some people would bring him one that he's already started working on and he has to work it all out and takes more time. That's like a life when you're a child and you're innocent and a person becomes a Christian. They're giving their lives clean and completely to God to start afresh, but many people leave it till later in life. You left it till later in life, Gary?
Yes, I was 32.
32, so he's nearly 50 now. I'm not very good at maths. But you notice there's a lot of things Gary done. Do you regret a lot of things you've done, Gary?
I do, Colin. I regret. It was a learning curve, but yes, I've done a lot of sinful, bad things, yes.
You would encourage children to come to faith in God when they're younger?
No, primary school. Do it when you're young.
Yeah, when you're primary school, you've got a clean sheet, give your life to God and follow Him. Guy, what's on your screen? Give us an example of what you would do.
Well, this, Colin, was a church project that I've been working on, and it was actually an existing building, which was old and tired, and it was derelict, which meant that it was falling down and it was in bad repair. So we had to go out, and another thing I do in my job is measure up the existing building. So we measure it all up, and then we come in and start to put it in CAD. And this would have been
CAD.
CAD is the name of the software that we use.
Okay.
So computer-aided design.
Yeah.
This has replaced the drawing board.
Yeah.
So some of the basic drawings would be the existing. So you put the existing plans on first.
Yes.
And then you come back, and it's a process of sitting down with the client. So what do you want this to look like? How do you want it to work? So this was actually an old building that wasn't useful because it had too many rooms. And then we had to try and get a church to work in here. So we had to create a sanctuary, or the main part of the church where people would sit.
Yeah.
So we had to take walls down. All these little dotted lines are the old original walls.
Yes.
And we've cut them away and we've knocked them down.
Yeah.
And then you've provided a sanctuary and a meeting room and a pastor's room, a prayer room, a kitchen, a creche. Toilets.
Yeah.
And then the best part on this particular job is upstairs, where we have a whole floor dedicated to young people, a youth centre. With kitchens and toilets and a whole place where they can come and play games and have meetings, and that's what we want to do in this particular job. So there's a process there where the building had to be stripped right back, all the decay, all the rotten timber, the asbestos, all the dangerous materials, it had to be stripped right back, right down to nearly the bare walls, to the foundations, and it had to be rebuilt. It reminded me of a picture of salvation.
Yes.
And getting saved and having the sin removed from our lives.
And why not just go to a completely new field and build a new building?
Well, in this particular project, it was to do with cost. So it would have been a lot more expensive. So this building was good structurally. The walls, the roof structure was good. but it just needed the outside stripped back and new tiles put on,
Yeah.
new plaster, and I just needed it tidied up and made watertight.
So that's the life of an architect. Really, really interesting. Taking an old building and able to clean it up, and eventually you will see a completely new building, and you can't even recognise the old. And there's a Bible verse that reminds me, when a person comes to faith in the Lord Jesus, old things pass away, behold, all things become new. And that's what God does and has done in Gary's life and my life, and He will do it in anyone's life who will come to Him. But the best time is when you're young and give your whole lives entirely over to God. And it starts in the inside and it shines and flows out on the outside. So they started in the inner walls and the dust. Any dust and dirt, Guy?
There's been plenty of dust and dirt, yes.
It's in his throat, you can hear the dust and the dirt, but it's going to be wonderful when you see the finished product. So once you do that, Guy, then you get in touch with all the builders.
So we get prices. You have to send the drawings out. Once you've got your approvals, your approval from the council, you get prices, you get the building costed, and then we are in an exercise with working with the builders, and they come on board and the work commences on site, and that's when you start to see your plans. Like building Lego, you have the little book of instructions, and you start to put all the bricks and all the pieces together, and you end up with something that you can use and you can work in. So that's the process of going on site then.
You play Lego?
I still play with Lego, yeah.
He's still a baby, he's still a wee boy at heart. Imagine that there. I love Lego. Guy, we've run out of time. The kids have to go back to school. What advice would you give them about their schoolwork?
Work hard, do the very best that you can, but the best thing is commit all your schoolwork, commit everything to God and trust Him, and He will carry you through.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, guys, we'll see you next time for another occupation. Thank you so much, Gary, for helping us understand a little bit more about what it means to be an architect. We thought we'd walk down the street. These are some of the buildings an architect could build. Well, not a tree. They can plant a tree, but they can build sky houses, sky slopers, big, tall buildings, small buildings, churches, schools, etc. So let's sing this little light. Here we go. Thanks, Gary, again.
This little light of mine.
Gary can sing. Come on, Gary.
This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine.
Stop giggling.
This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Gary, you can play the guitar. Yes? This may be. Come back to it.
This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Jesus is the light. I'm gonna let it shine.
for helping us understand what an architect. Lots of boys and girls watching there, and some of you one day might be an architect to design a house, a hospital, a school, or a building. And of course, we're thinking about the greatest architect of all, the very one who designed and created, just by speaking, this very planet, universe, Earth. And that, of course, is God, the great creator. Thanks for watching today, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Yeah, 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 yeah.